What's up and welcome back. I'm John Stark from MyMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic. And it's the 25th anniversary of Tarzan this year. So I decided to go ahead and review Tarzan 2. The oft-forgotten D-Quel to Tarzan. I don't think people really appreciate what this is as much as it is, but I was actually working in video rental stores at the time when video rental stores, the thing that you have to explain to your children. We used to be able to walk into places. We had to actually go physically to a store and grab something and hand it to a person and say, "I want to watch this film, sir." And they would say, "That'll be $3.99. Actually, it was plus tax, so $4 something depending on what state you lived in. And then we took it home and we watched it. And if we brought it back early, some chains gave us credit for only having it out for one night. Yeah, this is something that I definitely watched, and I had it on also like in the store because I thought it was delightful, and I was trying to get it and get people to rent it too, because obviously I had a couple copies of it when it came out. It doesn't, this is a weird film because I've already mentioned and talked about Lion King 2 Simba's Pride, which has returning voice cast from The Lion King. Matthew Broderick, Nathan Lane, there are people in that film who came back. And even Lion King 1.5, they got Timon and Pumbaa, same voices. However, Tarzan 2 does not have that. Gone are the voices of old. And in are the voices of, oh my god, these are still famous people. This is Glenn Close. This is George Carlin. This is Lance Henriksen. This is Brad Garrett. This is Ron Perlman. This is Estelle Harris. There's a voice cast here. I don't know if you know that. I feel like it's worth pointing out because I think people assume that D-Quels, for some reason, are these really cheaply made things that they just kind of throw out there. It's George Carlin in a Disney animated movie. If that doesn't pique your interest to find out what he does and how he does it and how much he contributes, I don't know what will. Plus, it's only like an hour and 12 minutes. So it's really pretty short. This is not really a sequel so much as it is like Tarzan .5. But that movie title doesn't make any sense. It takes place during Tarzan. The plot of this film would take place during the original movie. So you could actually like play the movie and then stop it at a certain point and then pretend and then pop Tarzan to it and play that and then put Tarzan back on. If you found like the right spot, like the sweet spot. Somebody out there needs to do that. There needs to be like a video of where to stop Tarzan and then push play on Tarzan 2 and then come back to Tarzan so that you can have the full experience. Yeah, it is weird that Rosie O'Donnell's not doing Turk. That's weird. It's weird that she would turn it down, too. It's weird that, like, did she know that, or was she afraid that she would be the only major name in this title? And then she'd be like, I don't want to do a D-Quel. And it's like, I don't know, Glenn Close is doing this. It's your problem. Anyway, this is done by Deluxe. I don't remember the narrator's name because honestly I'd never heard it before. It's just a first time I was just like, what? Okay. Cool. So I'm all about, new fresh choices. I don't know that Tarzan 2 is the kind of exposure that somebody's going to use, but just having been out there in the world and having something to do, maybe will lead to more work. Maybe I'll hear them again at some point. There are also a lot of things that don't have credits, so maybe I have heard them and I didn't know I've heard them before. It's a fine vocal performance. The original was done by Jedediah Barton, a titan in terms of narration, but not always right for kids' films. This one also, I feel like we could have found, again, someone who sounds more appropriate for kids' films. Disney seems to sometimes want that, and then on other films they're kind of avoid. I don't think they put much thought into it, which is really weird because they're one of the production companies that has like a list of do's and don'ts in terms of things you can and cannot describe in their films. So they do care about like what the audio description content is, but I guess they don't really think about it holistically as what kind of experience are we creating. Actually, if they were truly thinking about blind and visually impaired viewers, they wouldn't have a list of do's and don'ts, because the whole point of audio description is to bridge the gap so that we have the exact same experience, or as close to the same experience as our sighted friends and family. So when you do it the other way, you actually, it's separate, not equal. It's where we are. It's it even predates the separate but equal, because it's not even equal. It's just the other. So yeah, this is a cute film. It's just Tarzan trying to find his inner gorilla. It's him growing up, and it's just like a little adventure that he went on at some point during his childhood. And Turk was around. The little elephant's still here, and they're cute and they're small. Everybody's small. It's teeny Tarzan. It's not big Tarzan, not Tony Goldwyn. And there's music here, again from Phil Collins. So they really tried. They really put something together and crafted a Tarzan 2 to try to bring something to this franchise, which is what they didn't do with Tarzan and Jane, which I've seen and I'm not reviewing it because that is abomination. That is just like an episode from some failed Tarzan TV series they were planning on doing or did do. I don't know. But the animation quality is awful. Everything about that is bad. It's like watching Megamind versus the Doom Syndicate all over again, where you're like, whoa. Whoa. We went in a completely different direction. It's yeah. So this they actually tried on. They put something together here, released in 2005, and I don't think people really paid attention. So I'm giving it its time in the sun once again, 19 years later. It's almost at its 20th anniversary. Wow. Man, if it had just 2004, then I could have done a 25th and a 20th anniversary in the same year for this franchise. Disney had to go and be difficult. Put 6 years in between these films. So, yeah, there's a monster that they think that they're trying to hide from, that they think is fake. And then it turns out it might be real, but is it real? Tarzan's going to have to find out for himself. He's going to have to be brave and find out. There are also these other gorillas that are kind of stupid, and they're not part of Kerchak's pack. And they keep catching Tarzan, and they're like, "Is he a bird?" It's like, this is like the perfect vocal performance for Brad Garrett, by the way. This is where he shines, is in playing characters like this that are not bright, where he he picks up Tarzan. There's this really kind of funny conversation in this film about like when they find Turk and they do the same, like, look, I got a bird, and they're like, that's not a bird, that's a gorilla, that's like us. Ooh, I'm gonna see if it can. It can't fly. How do you know? Because we're gorillas and we can't fly. Like there's just like this really sort of like funny uh, conversation back and forth, you know, where you feel it's like a very like of mice and men moment happening. So, um, but it's a cute little adventure, and George Carlin gets to be curmudgeon-y, and then maybe less curmudgeon-y by the end of the film because Tarzan's opened his heart slightly more than it was before, and that's enough for a film with this runtime. It's not a super deep film. I'm not going to say Tarzan 2 deserves to be up there with like Toy Story 2, but it certainly is not like floating in the sewers of garbage of films. I've seen worse films this year, like Megamind and the Doom Syndicate. So, uh, yeah, this is something that I've always looked back on and been like, that was actually a pretty decent Disney sequel. It's not revolutionary. It's not to the level where like I really enjoyed the music, like the Aladdin sequels with Return of Jafar and stuff. There's music here, but you won't remember it. They actually might even just be tracks that he wrote for the original Tarzan, and they just didn't use them, and then they just bled them over into Tarzan 2. Totally possible. They're like, hey, Phil, remember those tracks we didn't use? Yeah, can we use them in Tarzan 2 if we pay you? I guess. Yeah. All right. So again, yeah, if that cast didn't entice you, if you're not just like, wait, there's a Disney sequel with Glenn Close and George Carlin? What the hell have I been doing with my life? It's on Disney Plus now, and it has audio description. And it's literally an hour and 12 minutes of your life. Check it out if you're at all a Tarzan fan. It's not like, oh my god, Oscar. Let's give this an Oscar. I'm not saying that it's not better than the first film. But in terms of D-Quels, which often get far too bad a reputation across the board, this is one of the good ones. I'm going to give Tarzan 2 a B-. So, there you go. I liked it back in the day. I've now seen it an unfair amount of times because I don't want to say that I saw it while I had it running in the background at a video store. So, but you could. This is one of those things where if you were like, if I had like some sort of like truth angel that came down from the sky and like answered questions for me, like when I didn't know about myself, you know, what did I do on May 1st, 1991? Well, let me tell you. If I had like something like that gave me the answer, if they were counting the runnings of the movie in the store, I could have technically watched Tarzan 2 like 20 times. But actually having like sat down and watched it, I think this is just my second time. But like casually looking up at the screen while it's on and seeing like a scene from it, yeah, there's a bunch of those moments. And just hearing it in the background, sure. Yeah, like that. But this is really just a second look. So, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the other side.